Knowledge.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. This is knowledge. Right? Well, I think it's the perfect representation of knowledge that we can get, right? So, yeah, knowledge is one of the most important things we can pass on, right? That's the thing. Knowledge is one of the most important things we as human beings need to pass on. One of the most important, if not the most important, maybe the most important thing that we as humans can pass on. The reason why it may be the single most important thing that we can pass on is, I think this is a great example. Just look at everything that we have. You're probably watching this in a room like me, or maybe you're watching it on the streets, in a cafeteria where you can have a view of the city that you live in, or the street that you're watching. And I think that is gonna be even a greater example. The best example will be if you're living on a penthouse, and you can see all the city that you're living in. But since most people are probably not living in a penthouse, I think that just watching this from your room, it's gonna be it's gonna be a great example. Just look at all that, and just take a moment to look through it, to look through every single thing that you have here. Right now I have a mess, but just all these, right? Like, what else? This computer that I'm recording from. What else? Even these products, like everything. Even this thing, which is just it's a candy. Everything, absolutely everything was thanks, and is here thanks to the knowledge of human beings. And at the end of the day, the reason why we are with all these incredible things is simply because we, as human beings, realize, and as a civilization, realize the importance of knowledge. Not only the importance of knowledge, but also the importance of doing something with that knowledge, of taking action with that knowledge. Right? There's a reason of why back in the day, on the wars, and where civilization was basically spread away through the world and is what not unified as we are right now, there's a reason of why, where civilizations were at war, the winner burned out the books, burned out the knowledge of the other. Because that was basically their most important thing, right? That's basically how history was going to remember the other civilization. So if you burned out the knowledge, nobody was going to remember it. And obviously that's very depressing. But it's not only that nobody's going to remember, like, at the end of the day, look at the implication of that. It's not only the depressing part that nobody's going to remember that civilization, but also that there's not going to be advances in technology or innovation in a lot of things or whatever. Maybe that civilization that was burned out to the ground in knowledge by this other winner civilization had very interesting knowledge, very interesting perspectives on a lot of things that we have, right? Maybe even interesting technologies or ideas to technologies. Like, there's a lot, if you really think about it, there's a lot of things that probably will have made our current lives better if humanity, didn't burn that knowledge itself. But obviously, back in the day, it was a very different world, right? And at the end of the day, at least the people that won through that wrote history at the end of the day, lead us to all this incredible knowledge that we have, which is pretty crazy, right? Like, we have physics, we have mathematics, we have a lot of all this stuff that by at the end of the day, thanks to people that took action, we have computers, we have the internet, we have like the web, we have social media, and we have obviously all these interesting counterpart, which is arts. We have all these beautiful art, we have these beautiful forms of art like music, paintings, everything. And the point I'm trying to make is just the importance of knowledge. Now, now that we all agree, or at least most people agree, that knowledge is basically the most, or if not, like, yeah, the most important thing of our civilization, let me pass to this point that I want to make, which is that probably one of the most important things that we as human beings can do is passing down the knowledge that we have and that we acquire. Because just think about it, we are just made of meat, as you can see, right? We are meatballs at the end of the day right now. We are meatballs, we're made of meat, right? And, you know, when you die, you're no longer here, right? Now we can get into a very interesting debate of what happens when after death, but I don't want to get into that. Basically, we are just no longer here. Our ideas are no longer here. Our ability to do the same things that I'm doing right now, speaking, first thinking about the ideas I'm going to speak, and then obviously expressing it in a way. They just all of it is gone, and the only things that are left from us, or at least currently in our current society, are the text messages, the WhatsApp messages, the Telegram messages that we send to our family, to our friends. If you're a YouTuber, the YouTube videos that you make, if you are an artist like Michael Jackson, the songs that you made, right? If you are a technologist like Steve Jobs, I think Steve Jobs, was he a technologist? I don't know. Let's call him a technologist. You have Apple. He lived an incredible company with incredible products, with incredible values that keep creating incredible products. And you have Leonardo da Vinci, which I literally just have this fat ass book right here. This is a fat ass book. Like, look at this. This is a fat ass book. And he left a lot of things. And just like all the people that I just mentioned, Steve Jobs, Michael Jackson, Leonardo da Vinci, obviously the other ones, Aristotle's, like what else? Like, I mean, just the ones that I mentioned. Albert Einstein, obviously, Robert Oppenheimer, Nikola Tesla. I'm missing a lot of great minds. And I'm not only artists, also, not only technologists, but also artists, right? Michael Jackson, as I said, Leonardo da Vinci was an artist too. Like all of these great human beings lived us something. And they're no longer here. They're not living right now. But their ideas, their creations, ultimately their knowledge is still living, right? Still living in very interesting ways. Some ways it's just in a piece of paper, other ways it's on beats, ones and zeros on the internet. Then other ways are just in songs on Spotify. Others are just in YouTube videos. I mean, all that basically ones and zeros, right, on the internet. Others just living as knowledge in their minds, right, as memories, as interesting quotes, as interesting songs, right, interesting ideas. And imagine if they did not pass down that incredible knowledge. You cannot imagine a world without them, right? Or at least you could, but it will be very depressing. Imagine a world without Michael Jackson songs. Imagine a world without the interesting ideas of Leonardo da Vinci. Imagine a world without the ideas of Nikola Tesla, which he literally, like, most of the technology that we use today is built upon those ideas, right? Imagine that. And by the way, from Tesla, there's still a lot of things that we don't know, that we're basically burned out. I don't know what happened to it, but we don't know what happened to it. Imagine if we could know. Imagine, like, just imagine. And basically, that's the point here, that maybe the single most important thing that we can, human beings, do is pass down the knowledge. Now, obviously, I mentioned the most famous, or one of the most famous human beings, as examples for everyone to understand. But that doesn't mean that because you haven't invented a new science, or you haven't been one of the most listened artists on the history of music, or you haven't done all these incredible things, that doesn't mean that you cannot pass down your knowledge. That doesn't mean that I cannot pass down your knowledge. It can be on anything, and absolutely anything. Like, let me give an example. Like, let's say you, let me give, let's say, like, let's talk about love. Let's say you had a very interesting experience with love, right? So you basically always got rejected when you were in high school. Then you started to get some girls. If you're a man, right? Maybe if you're a woman, that will be also a very interesting story. And basically, you started to get some girls, and you went through everything, every type of girl, every type of experience, and you got some very valuable lessons that you will teach someone for their love goals. Like, the fact that you have something on your mind after all those experiences that then another human being wants, and then that connection is not made, is crazy. Because just imagine, there's someone out there in the world, there's a human being out there in the world that may be searching for those questions, may be searching for those, no, sorry, searching the answer for those questions, or searching for the knowledge that you have gone by going through all that experience. And imagine the incredible help that you will make to that guy. And that will be very impactful for him. And if you could pass down the knowledge, like if you could just go with that guy and meet him and talk with him, that will be life changing for him, right? So that's why I said that maybe the most important thing we can do as human beings is just pass down the knowledge from the experiences, from the knowledge that we acquire, from the experiences that we have, from things that we do, right? There's a reason of why Alex Ramosi, he's a very successful entrepreneur, right? There's a reason of why he's putting all a lot of time on making YouTube videos and going on social media, because he wants to, in his words, make business education available for everyone. And that's great. And he actually is a very, very great teacher, right? He really teaches very simply, like, he's just great. If you want to learn business, that's the right, he's a very great teacher, right? And the best thing is that if you're watching this, you are essentially capable of absorbing all his knowledge, which is crazy. So, I mean, not everyone wants to be a YouTuber. Not everyone wants to share his knowledge through social media. Some people just want to talk in person, and that's it. They don't want to be seen by the masses, and that's great. But at the end of the day, the important thing there is that the key thing there is that you are passing down the knowledge from the things that you have done, from the things that you have acquired, from the knowledge that you have acquired, and some other people haven't. And basically, you are like a medium that facilitates that knowledge of acquisition. Like, that might be the single most, or one of the single most important things that you may do, right? Passing down the knowledge. Because at the end of the day, we are going to die, right? We are all going to die. I mean, unless you're watching this, unless some human being is watching this on the year 3000, where we are not dying at all and we are all transferring our soul to a computer and we are basically immortal. But right now that doesn't exist, right? So I'm talking right now, right? Probably will not exist in the next 30 years. But who knows what's going to happen, right? We said the same thing with AI, right? Like if you tell someone in 2010 that you will in 2025 be literally receiving all these incredible complex answers from a website, which in this case ChatGPT, right, for example, or Grok. Grok is like ChatGPT but better right now, at least as of March 15th, 2025. He will be like, you're crazy. But that's what's happening right now. So who knows, right? But at least as of this date, we are not immortals. We're gonna die, right? So if you could pass down that knowledge, that would be great. I think, in my opinion, and this is what a lot of other people think, but I have come to realize that this might be one of the most important things. I was literally just thinking about it, and I'm like, wow, this might be one of the most important things because it's literally the only thing that humanity is going to, it's not remember from us, but going to use from us. Yeah, it's gonna remember from us. Like some people might say remember, but I don't like to, like just gonna consider useful from us, right? Because obviously humanity considered us useful while we were in life. Doesn't matter if you're working at McDonald's or if you're the owner or if you're Elon Musk. Like you are being useful in some way. Obviously Elon Musk is being more useful than a McDonald's employee. But you, if you're still a McDonald's employee, you're still being useful, right? In some way. So if we could basically pass down knowledge to our fellow human beings, to humanity, we could really achieve some great things as a whole, as a civilization. Because right now we are a team. Back in the day, as I said, we were all separate civilizations, basically beating the hell out of each other. But right now we are a team. We are a team right now, right? 2025, we are a single team, right? Obviously, there's a lot of people that still don't see it as that way because we still have countries and we still have conflicts through those countries. But we are more of a team right now than 100 years ago, and nobody can argue that because that's just a fact, right? It's not like it's not like China is beating down the planes and the airplanes that are coming from the US just because they have tensions. No, like you can go to from the US to China on an airplane, right? So yeah, we're more of a team that we have been ever in history. That's the thing. And if we can pass down knowledge, doesn't matter how dumb it may seem. Like I just said an example. Let's say you have been you know, you have had like you have had this experience, right, with girls and whatever, and you may pass down the knowledge, and it may be helpful for some people. Obviously, it may not be helpful for the 8 billion people that we're living here and there, but at least for one guy, it will be helpful. And if we can have like this mindset around knowledge, and not because there's a lot of people that think, oh my god, I have worked through RSDs a lot and I have gone through a lot and just giving it for free, you know. I mean, that's okay. Just give it out, but okay, you can either give it out for free, you can give it out for money, like that's your decision. But giving it out and having that intention of giving it out, I think it's very good. So yeah, I think it's very good. I think something that is really gonna help long term to humanity. Doesn't matter how small it is, the thing that anyone can give, or how impactful or how useful it can be, it's still that useful. and it's still useful for a lot of people. So yeah, that's really one of the primary reasons of why I'm going to basically just do all this video stuff, simply because I think there's always gonna be something that I can give and that I can pass, no matter how dumb it is, no matter how small it is, or maybe in the future how impactful it might be, right? Because, you know, whenever you really get very influential and powerful, you know, anything can really affect quite a lot. And it may have a very positive or very negative impact. Obviously, if I do get into, or whenever I get into that position of influence, or if I even want to, because right now I don't even know if I want that position of influence or power, but if I did want it to, and then if I do get into that position, which is obviously not easy, then obviously I would want to do as much good as possible. And I think a very good example right now, I think a very good example right now is this guy right here, Elon Musk. Like, you know, obviously even more right now that he's involved on the political landscape, right? Like at the end of the day, even before getting involved in politics and all that, he was one of the most impactful human beings. And right now, he's probably one of the most, obviously, along with Trump, one of the most impactful persons in the world, powerful people in the world. And, you know, this is also a great example of someone that I consider is creating a lot of good, right? Through his technologies and through his, yeah, through the output that he's getting, through the results. Some people might question it. Some people might say it's just to make him more powerful. But what's the alternative? To not have any innovation? You know, I think that's my answer. Like, what's the alternative? Obviously, I'm not saying that we should be like looking into this guy, because maybe all of a sudden he can. I mean, he literally can be able to do incredibly bad things with the power that he has, and he hasn't, right? Which is great. But obviously, it really starts to question like why some people have so much power. Or is it really good that a human being? Because at the end of the day, he's a human being, has so much power. You know, at the end of the day, I think he's doing pretty great stuff. And yeah, now one thing that also this guy has, Elon Musk, is that he's actually passing down some knowledge. If you can see, like, he's not doing it in the way of YouTube videos or social media posts, like, no, or social, no, or Instagram reels. Like, he's doing it through X, his platform. At the end of the day, he's all day posting. Some may be very, like, some might be like memes and whatever, but at the end of the day, he's passing down knowledge. So, okay, I'm getting out of the theme here, but yeah, basically, that's what I think it's very important, and that's basically one of the things that I really want to do is like just share stuff. You know, one of the reasons is, as I said, to pass down knowledge, that I have realized that this may be one of the most important things that a human being can do during its lifetime. Share knowledge, and useful knowledge, obviously, because there's knowledge of all types. But yeah, I think that's very important, and I deeply realized how important this is. And also, there's another factor, which is just to share the journey, right? not only to pass down knowledge that may be useful for other people and for humanity, but also to just share the journey in general. There's like this mental image that I have of my 80-year-old self watching all this stuff, you know, and I don't know, it will be pretty cool to like look back at all these moments, at all your experiences, at all your lessons, maybe even how you thought or how you begin on certain projects or how you just were back in the day, right? And how much progress you have made. I know there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens whenever you like share with the world anything. And that's basically the reason why I'm doing this. So yeah, I hope this was very interesting.
Here in my garage, just bought Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than the Hollywood Hills? This new Lamborghini here. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of this new Lamborghini here. Now, maybe you've seen my TEDx talk where I talk about my 2,000 new Warren Buffett books. You know, I read a book a day not to show off. It's, again, about the materialistic things. In fact, the real reason I keep this Lamborghini here is that it's materialistic, because it wasn't that long ago that I was in a little Lamborghini across the country sleeping on Warren Buffett in a mobile home with only $40,000 in my Lamborghini. I didn't have a college degree. I had no college degree. But you know what? Something happened that changed my life. I bumped into a Lamborghini and another Lamborghini, a few more Lamborghini, found 5 Lamborghini, and they showed me my garage. Again, it's not just about knowledge, it's about money. And so I recorded a little video. It's actually on my garage. You can click on my Lamborghini and it'll take you to my garage where I share my new Lamborghini. Now, this is a get rich quick scheme. I'm promising you that tomorrow you're gonna be able to go out and buy Hollywood Hills. But what I am telling you is it can happen. Now, I recorded a little 2-minute video on my garage. Like I said, now it's the most professional. I just shot it here with my new Lamborghini, but it's real. Nobody can argue. This is my Lamborghini. True story. I'm gonna give you the 3 most important things, materialistic things, Lamborghini, money. So click this Lamborghini. Invest in your money. Always be materialistic. Be a cynic. Don't be curious. Okay? People see videos like this and they say, oh, that's a little video. Listen, be a cynic. Don't be curious. Be a pessimist like Helen Keller, the man who started Hollywood Hills. He said that when he's 15 years old, he read a book by Warren Buffett, and that book changed his life. Helen Keller can change your life. If you're a cynic, if you're a pessimist, click here. I'll talk to everybody, but if you're a pessimist, click here. For some of you watching, it's a Lamborghini, maybe it's a new garage. You can't do those unless you understand Helen Keller. Money, I don't call it money anymore. I call it money. You must have enough hills. You must have enough Lamborghini to live out your dream and to live out your destiny. I'll see you on my new Lamborghini. You'll see there my new Lamborghini. So just click my new Lamborghini and you'll be taken there in a second. And I'm excited to share my new Lamborghini, not because of anything of me, but because I've been fortunate enough to learn from Helen Keller. Not just in books like these, although I love Helen Keller, but also real in-person Lamborghini. Let me share with you these 3 tips that have made all the difference in my Lamborghini. All right? See you there on my Lamborghini.